Hey everyone, my name is Alyssa and welcome to the Productive Dev. In today's video, we are going to cover all the tools and applications that I use as a software developer. And if you want to get the most recent list of what I use, if you go to my website, alyssaholland.com/uses, you'll be able to see all the things on this list. And I updated it July 25th of this year, so a little over 2 months ago, so it's pretty accurate. I may miss a tool here or there, but I'm going to try my best to kind of show you what I use. My hope is that you will maybe discover a new tool that you haven't used, and you can just see, like I said, what I use as a software developer. I'm going to start in the IDEs and editors section. And so WebStorm, if you're a developer, you've used some type of JetBrains product, which, JetBrains is the main company behind things like WebStorm, IntelliJ. At my current job right now, we use Laravel and PHP, so I use PHP Storm at work, but I'm always using some kind of JetBrains-esque project. And I've paid for a subscription for WebStorm in the past. I think I'm not doing it right now, but I just really like the Git tools. If I'm doing more complex things, I sometimes just prefer working in WebStorm. But I do hop between that and VS Code, which I'll go over in a second here. But just a solid choice, been around a long time. And yeah, like I said, VS Code, I think everyone knows VS Code, so I won't go ahead and show it. But yeah, I switched between this and JetBrains type product. Like I said, VS Code is hands down, probably one of the most popular editors right now. And so I use it on a daily basis as well. Let's see, Cot Editor. I like to have a simple editor that I use that sometimes I just want to open up a simple like JSON file or HTML file or something, and I just don't want to open up my main editor or something that, like, especially not something like a WebStorm can be a little heavy, just to open up and view a simple file. So Cot Editor is what I've been using lately. I've used brackets in the past, but this is what I'm just using right now. It's just simple, no fluff. If I just want to view, plain text editor, if I just want to view a file really quickly. And then Fork is my Git GUI client of choice. Let's see if I have Fork up. I do. So Fork is here. This is just on my personal website, so it's a very simple Git tree here. But you can see that you can view diffs. I can see this is me like updating the uses file, I guess, in July. So just a nice Git tool. You can do rebases and all kinds of fancy things. I'm not super advanced in here, but it's just nice to be able to kind of stash changes, view, stash individual or commit, stage individual things, stuff like that. So it's just a nice Git GUI tool that I use occasionally. And then Run.js. This is actually, I don't use this all the time, but if you want like a nice JavaScript playground, you want to test out a function, see how it works, or, just it's a little scratch pad, I guess, as I would call it. Run.js can be really nice to use. So like I said, use it sparingly, but it can run like Node and different things, and TypeScript. So it's just a nice little playground to have, that I recommend. Okay. So now we go to the terminal and CLI tools. So Warp is the, Warp is the terminal that I've been using lately. I really like it. It has a lot of AI features and stuff. I have been an iTerm user for a long time before this. But I just really liked a lot of the features that you got through Warp. They've kind of now switched into a agentic development environment, I think is what they're calling it, trying to compete with stuff like Claude Code and all that. So Warp's very, very popular right now. Very good, intelligent terminal. Let's see, Cobalt 2 theme by Wes Boss. I'm not sure if I'm using this theme right now, actually, but I was at one point. So I'll mention it. Very cool theme if you want to use it. I think he has it for like Hyper, all the different terminals. So whatever terminal you use, you can get Wes Boss's this theme for your terminal. That's really good. Let's see. Oh, my ZSH. So framework for managing ZSH configurations. I always just install this when I'm setting up a new computer. I probably don't use as much of the features as I could. Like, I thought about maybe even going away from this, but I don't know. It just has some niceties there. And I just install it every time I'm setting up a new computer. Just kind of there in the background. Works well with ZSH. Let's see. ZSH syntax highlighting. This used to be something on the terminal that I would use. I think now that I've switched to Warp, I don't necessarily use this plugin because I think Warp does it natively. But I just want to mention these because they're just good to have in case you're not using a batteries included thing like Warp. So just gives you some nice syntax highlighting if you've written a command inaccurately. Let's see, bat, a much better cat with syntax highlighting. Yes. Okay. So bat is great. And so if we just do, so bat, like let me do bat and like readme.md. So see, we kind of get this nice syntax highlighting going on. It's really cool. If I do bat, or not bat, sorry. Bat, package.json. Is that JSON like here? You just get this nice syntax highlighting. Whereas if I did just a regular cat command, so I did cat package JSON, which I actually have cat mapped to be bat in my ZSH config. So I'm going to do this. Oops. That's a nice tip, by the way, if you have something kind of mapped to it. And just like, if I didn't have bat, it would just kind of output it in this plain text. I mean, you can read it. It's not like the file is not too large, but especially when you just want a quick output, it's just nice to have that syntax highlighting, and bat gives that to you. Let's see, what else I got? The get delta, better get diff output. Yeah, get delta is really cool. I don't view diffs a ton in the terminal because I use things like fork or using things like the JetBrains products, which have far superior get diffs views. But if you are in the terminal, want to do that, get delta is a cool package to install if you just want to view like a quick diff. Better than or a little more syntax highlighting than if you just did the get diff natively. So I don't have any changes right now that I can demonstrate, or else I would show you, but good plugin to recommend. And then Homebrew. I think most people use Homebrew for installing packages. I have a whole like script that I use that will just go use Homebrew, install the packages I need whenever I'm setting up a new Mac. So Homebrew is legit and awesome, great package manager for Mac. Okay, now I will go into services. So I'm going to talk about Plausible. So Plausible is what I use for my analytics and stuff. If you can see, I have 7 different sites wired up to this. It's just a nice Google Analytics alternative that's more privacy friendly. And so like, yeah, if I go into like, see my blog here, this is for like month to date. So this past month, you can see, you know, the top channels, where people are coming from. I can kind of drill down. So like some of my YouTube videos have been generating people to view my blog, all this kind of stuff. You can track a lot of cool things. And I just like that you don't have to have a cookie banner or whatever. Plausible I've been using for years. It's really good. Let's see, Spotify Premium. It's just what I use to listen to my tunes. I think everyone should know what Spotify is, so I'm not going to show you that. But Spotify Premium, I've been a user for that for years. And then Basin is what I use as my form backend service for wiring up forms. There are a myriad of these out there, like FormSpree, and I'm drawing a blank on other ones, but there's a ton of them out there. It makes it nice and easy that they handle when somebody fills out a form, it just goes, you know, sends an email and you can use it, and you don't have to set up the server and the backend and infrastructure for that. So Basin is just one that I use. Let's see. Now we're going into home office. So I guess I can kind of show you my monitor if I go like all the way here, but it's not super great. But I'll show you, I'll scroll to the top. This is what my monitor looks like. I think the link I have here is, it's no longer provided, but this is kind of an idea of what it looks like. I don't know. It's just a big ass, slightly curved monitor. I can never have enough screen real estate, so I love it. And yeah, it's not the cheapest thing, but it's worth the investment to have a really nice monitor where you can just have everything laid out. It's super cool. Okay, next is the Uplift Desk. I actually have this link pre-prepared because I think the one I have, it doesn't work anymore, but Uplift Desk is, I got this back in 2020 when everything was going remote. I personally like the L-shaped desk. I just feel like it gives me a little more room. Uplift, it's not cheap, but it's a high quality sit-stand desk, and I highly recommend it if you are looking for a standing desk. It's really good. Let's see. For my keyboard, I have a DOS, Model S mechanical keyboard. I'll try and move it into the camera there, but I will open it up here so you can see. So it looks like this. My husband actually turned me on to mechanical keyboards. I was like, I will never spend over $100 on a keyboard, and we did, and I love my mechanical keyboard, and I don't think I can go back now. So highly recommend. You don't have to necessarily get that one, but if you're looking for a keyboard, I highly recommend a mechanical one if you are. And I think I have the blue switches on these. So yeah, it's loud and it's clackety. So I would never use this in an office because people would probably hate me. because of how loud it is, but I really like it. Let's see. For my laptop stand, this is just a thing about Amazon, cheap, I kind of just have it in the position that I want it in, and then I just don't really ever move it from it, and it just works. It's been really solid. Yeah, I just really like it. Very good. Let's see. My Logitech M720 Triathlon mouse right here. It's really good. Nothing too crazy. Logitech has good products, I like their mouses, so been using that. Let's see. CalDigit. Thunderbolt 3 dock. Yeah, I use this just to plug in all my cords. I have, my Ethernet plugged in there, all the USBs, the mics plugged in here, so just makes it nice and easy. So I just have one single port that connects through this dock, and then I can just be up and rolling. All right, let's see. AirPods. I think everyone knows what AirPods are. I have a pair of those. I have Sony headphones, which I thought I had them at my desk. They're over there. I'm too lazy to go grab them. But, yep, I think I got these on like an Amazon Day deal one time. I usually use Bose, but the ear pads on those have just been crumbling a lot. So I was like, let me try a different product. These Sonys look really good. And so far, I really like it. Remarkable 2. So I am a big fan of e-ink tablets. I'll talk about my Kindle in a second, but I've had a Remarkable 2 for a few years. I love the tactile nature of things. Like, I still write a lot of things down. And so Remarkable 2 is not cheap. They just released a Remarkable Pro, so technically mine is the older version, but I just really like writing things down. Like, instead of pen and paper now, I write things down on my e-ink tablet, and I just love it. I highly recommend Remarkable. It is pricey, like I said, but I personally think it's worth the investment, especially if you're like me and you still want that tactile nature of things. And then I also have a Kindle Scribe because, I need 2 e-ink tablets. But the Kindle Scribe was more for, I want to be able to read my books on Kindle, and I also want to be able to write. So I kind of use my Kindle for my Kindle Scribe for reading books, but also, taking notes for work. And then I kind of use my Remarkable for more personal notes and other things like that. So yeah, like I said, as you can tell, I'm a big fan of e-ink tablets. They're great. I just love writing in them, and it makes it so that everything's just consolidated. I don't have these loose pieces of paper just kind of all around. Okay, and then let's see. Last but not least, in the home office space, I have a fluid stance kind of like boogie board, balance board here, and had it for a few years. I like it because, let me actually show you. Let's see if I can show this in the camera. It's like this. So I'm just balancing. Sorry. Let me talk into the mic. I'm just balancing on that so I can shift my weight. I'm not, just standing on hard floor or hard carpet. It's not comfortable. It hurts your knees. And so definitely need, if you're not doing some kind of board like this, some kind of mat or something to just make it a lot more comfortable for you while you stand, which I'm doing right now at my desk. So highly recommend that. Let's see. Productivity tools. Raycast is awesome. I was an Alfred user for many years. I just have my shortcut there. You can have clipboard history. You can pick a color. There's so many different things. You can see time in Germany for some reason. Sure, why not? It does so many different things for you. Raycast has replaced Alfred for me. Like I said, I was a fan of Alfred for a while, but it just made their store ecosystem, getting plugins or whatever they call it, is really easy, and I just really enjoy it. Raycast is awesome. Highly recommend using it, and their free tier is really generous. Okay, so next on the list is Twos, which it allows you to organize your to-do notes, reminders, and stuff. I've just started using it the past month or two, so I'm still pretty new to it. I'm not opening it because I just realized in my take before this that it'll show my personal twos, and I don't really want to do that. But I don't know. It's kind of more, you can easily search and find things. It feels like it meshes with my brain a bit, so I'm experimenting with it. But one that I recommend checking out, because I've been shifting into Things 3 user for a while. I paid for it years ago. I like Things 3. I just found that my to-do list was growing and growing and growing, and I was getting overwhelmed, and that's more of a management thing on me. But, Things 3, it's been around for forever. It's beautiful on iOS and Mac devices. You can't go wrong here. I love that it's not a subscription. You can pay for it once across. You can pay for, they have individual payments for your tablet, your phone, or your computer. but I think it's like $89.99 in total across the three, which is great, but you don't have to pay a subscription. So you kind of pay everything up front and then you're done. So Things 3 is great if you're looking for a to-do list option in my mind, especially if you don't want a subscription. But you do have to be on an Apple device. Let's see. Pandan. So this is a time awareness in my menu bar. I kind of forget it's there. So here it is. It's showing me, okay, I guess I've been on my Mac for 23 minutes, previous session. You can see the history of how long you've been on your Mac. So I think at every hour, it'll do like a little ding and let me know, hey, you've been on the computer for an hour. This is just really good for keeping me aware of like, okay, maybe I should step away from the screen for a while. If I see like, okay, it's been going for 2 hours straight, like, okay, maybe I need to take a break. It's just a nice kind of mindfulness thing. Like this is kind of subtly in the background. It's created by a guy named Sindre Sorhus, which is a very prolific open source developer. So high quality product from him. And then Sunsama is what I use, for like importing things like my Jira tasks, time blocking and management. I may switch to another app called Ellie Planner, but I think I have my subscription for Sunsama until November, so I'm using it until then. Has a lot of mindfulness features, so you don't like overwork yourself or overbook yourself. I just don't leverage the mindfulness stuff as much as I could, but still a solid product. I've been a paying member for I think the past 2, maybe 3 years, so yeah, we'll see if I renew, but using it at the moment. Okay, Notion. I mean, Notion's a powerhouse. I'm sure everyone here knows Notion, so I won't, belabor it too much, but really great tool that does a whole bunch of different things that I use for like managing my blog posts and content and notes, all kinds of stuff. Flycut is a clipboard manager. It's open source. I've been using it for a while. I kind of switched between using this and Raycast Clipboard Manager because Raycast Clipboard Manager allows you to copy and paste images, whereas Flycut doesn't. But Flycut is just a nice, simple thing. You just do like Control-Shift-V, and you can, just move through things. So it's really nice. And it's free. ItsyCal is just a tiny calendar that I have in my menu bar. As you can see, I don't know if you can see that actually but it's just a nice little calendar that sits in my menu bar, and I can customize it. It shows the date. It's really nice. You can kind of quickly access Zoom links and things like that. Really nice. It's free. Very, very helpful though. Let's see. Typora is kind of a markdown tool that I use. It doesn't sync to the cloud or anything. It's just very simple. It allows me to take local markdown notes, and then I can go and upload them to like iCloud or something later if I want. I think it's like a one-time fee. It used to be free, but now it's a one-time fee, and you can have different themes. It's just a really nice, simple markdown editor that I really enjoy using. Let's see. Rocket is an emoji picker, and so kind of like a Slack-style emoji picker. And so let me see if I can actually, I have mine mapped to like : So if I do : I think you can see, I can do like happy. And then, it'll replace it with that. Again, not sure if you can see the whole screen. But yeah, kind of like how this is doing, you can easily search for emojis. It's just a really nice emoji picker that I use. I don't use a native like Apple one, so really good product. Figma for when I do designs or when I'm working with designs that have been given to me. As you can see, I do a lot of my blog posts assets here. So Figma's great. I'm not a designer, but I occasionally, have a template and I'll just tweak it a bit. And yeah, so Figma is great. Let's see. Spark I use for my email client. It can manage a lot of different, it kind of combines a lot of your inboxes and stuff. And so, good tool for that. Let's see. Shotter is what I use for recording kind of GIFs and screenshots. I think it's free, but yeah, it's free, I think, and you can have a paid option, which isn't much. I like to try and support indie developers that create tools like this that give you a lot for free, but have a very generous, tier if you want to donate. So Shotter is really good for screenshots. And then I also use CleanShot X, which you're probably thinking is a bit redundant, right? Because CleanShot X could do everything Shotter does. But CleanShot X allows me to record videos, which is nice, which Shotter does not at the moment. Plus, I got a discount on CleanShot X because I use a tool called Pixel Snap, And because that allows me to like, measure things, see kind of the length or distance between things. As a front-end developer, I need to kind of know the exact dimensions, and maybe I can't get it exactly from Figma. So this is, because I had Pixel Snap, you get like a 40% discount for CleanShot X. So I just decided to make that investment. And yeah, let's see. Okay, so I skipped over. So Super Whisper is what I use as my speech-to-text tool of choice. I have a command. I press that. It goes through it. I can have a bunch of different like modes in Super Whisper that a lot like can take what I'm saying and like not only just transcribe it, but run it through an AI model and then, fix all the grammatical errors or turn it into Markdown or whatever. It's kind of cool. I like how Super Whisper is customizable. And they had I felt like was a generous, lifetime plan because I had done a trial and then I got like some money off. And so I don't know. I like Super Whisper. It's pretty cool. Kind of feels like you can program your own little speech to text AI model, which is neat. And then Eagle is a nice way to just kind of collect different design files and assets. Like I can be here and I can like, I think I don't have Eagle open right now, but if I did, let me actually see if I can do that. So like this is where I grabbed kind of assets I needed for my video talking about terminals and stuff. And so, I can kind of categorize things. What I was using when I was creating my course for accessibility, I was just taking different screenshots, kind of organizing it. I have blog assets here. You can kind of, you can take like images. If you see an image, you can kind of like pull down. And then I don't know if actually this will work. See if I can find one. If not, it's okay. But I can't find one right now. But like it just allows you to easily kind of grab things from the internet as inspiration or whatever. It's a really cool tool. And I think it's also a one-time fee. Okay, what else we got? Pixel Snap. Magnets is kind of my window management resizer. Though now, I think I actually use a tool called Rectangle more. That's like an open source alternative. I bought Magnet like years ago, I think for like $1 or something on the Apple Store. And I have it. But I think I've switched to mostly using Rectangle, which is, like I said, the open source alternative. HEIC converter, I don't know if I've actually used this yet, but it's helpful because, on Apple devices, whenever you upload a photo, sometimes you want to convert it. Usually you don't want it in that format. You want it in a JPEG or a PNG. So again, this is another app created by Sindre Sorhus, who I mentioned, super great open source library maintainer. Vanilla is something I started using recently. It kind of has this it allows you to like show and hide, your icons in the menu bar there. I think another app similar to this is Bartender. And so I haven't really had a need for something like this, but now that the MacBooks have the notch and it just, there's just less space up there, I found myself needing to use this. So yeah, Vanilla's been great. This is also from the same guy who created the Rocket emoji picker that I shared earlier. And there's Fast Folder Finder, which just allows you to do a quick search, find the folder really fast. I don't use this a ton, but it is really actually fast. Also from the same guy who built Vanilla and a Rocket. So he has a nice suite of products there. And then HyperKey allows you to put unused keys to work. A lot of people use the caps lock key to use to convert. I actually use the caps lock key. I'm probably the only person in the world, maybe. But I do. But I use it. I have it mapped to like maybe right option or something that I don't ever click. And so this just allows you to expand what shortcuts you can use. I think I use this for actually something with Super Whisper. And so any key that you're not using, that'll just map to the hyper key. And then, you just have a whole new set of shortcuts that you can leverage. Next is browser extension. So Momentum. So this gives you a daily inspirational photo and quote. So as you can see here, it tells me, hey, empower yourself, Alyssa, and has a little quote at the bottom. Usually a nice little background. It's just a nice mindfulness thing. It's free. I like it. It's just different than something nicer than just the default thing that you get when opening up a new tab. Let's see. JSON formatter. I don't have any JSON right now. I can show you, but this is a good enough image. Anytime you're viewing an output in the browser, it just pretty prints it for you. I think Firefox does this by default, but this is nice because it just pretty prints it for you and makes it look nice and a lot more legible. And I think you can also, it looks like you can collapse sections and stuff, which is nice. And on the topic of JSON, I actually don't think I have this on my list, but I have a JSON formatter tool that I use. This is open source, but I just have it installed as a PWA. But this allows you to view JSON as well. You can kind of expand and collapse things. You can minify, you can format, you can change things. This is something I use if I'm really trying to dig deep into some JSON and just try and understand it better. So another tool, let's see, Atom File Icons Web. So I think if I actually, this is just like allows you to view icons in like GitHub and stuff a lot nicer. So if I go to like one of my repositories, I'm in GitHub, see how it's like the ESLint logo, the prettier logo, the NPM logo, like it just looks a lot nicer. I don't know. It's just a subtle, nice UI thing. That's all that extension does. Next I have XDev Tools created by DQ, which is a leading tool in accessibility tools. I am a big advocate for accessibility, so anytime I can have a tool that can help me, let me see if I can actually get it to show. I was having issues with it earlier. But it just will be in your, okay, it doesn't want to work right now, but it would be in your dev tools there, and you could run a scan, and it could tell you like, okay, what accessibility defaults are going on right now. Yeah, I don't know why it's not working. But very great tool that I recommend. I've had it in my course. It's super helpful. AdBlock Plus for blocking ads. Eagle for Chrome. It's just a Chrome extension that works with Eagle, which I showed you earlier. Grammarly, so I can spell things properly. Notion Web Clipper. I don't know. I use this occasionally, just sometimes something to add things to Notion if I'm reading an article and it puts it in a specific database. See React Developer Tools, super helpful to inspect components, look at the props. I feel like it's a must need for a developer if you're a React developer. Yeah, that's not working either. For some reason, my extensions don't want to show while I am sharing my screen, but that's okay. And then last but not least, Wapalizer. That allows you to just like, let's see, let me go here. So it can tell like, hey, I'm on my website. I'm using Plausible. It's React. This is a Gatsby site. I know it's kind of old, but that's what I'm using. I'm using Tailwind CSS. Like it's usually, 75% accurate. It's pretty accurate. So, it's just sometimes I just use this to like be nosy, and if I want to kind of get an idea or the gist of what technologies a website is using, this is an extension that I will use. So I think that's the bottom of my list. I think that's everything. Like I said at the top, I'm sure I missed a few apps here or there, and I've intentionally left out AI tools that I use just because that landscape is changing so rapidly, and I'm still fine-tuning that, but this is a pretty large list of a lot of the tools I use. I hope you found something that maybe you could use. Maybe you can share some tools that you use that I didn't mention. I'd love to learn more. I kind of like geeking out and knowing about what productivity tools are out there. So yeah, I hope you guys found this interesting, and I will catch you in the next video.